The Mafia, an empire built on loyalty, blood, and silence. But what happens when that silence is broken, not by police or prosecutors, but by the women who were never supposed to speak? One, Lea Garofalo, the mother who defied the 'Ndrangheta. Lea Garofalo was born into the deadly world of the 'Ndrangheta, southern Italy's most feared mafia, but she chose a different path for the sake of her daughter. When her partner, a high-ranking mafioso, became violent, Lea didn't run. She stood her ground and turned informant. She testified against her own family, exposing murders and drug routes. But in 2009, they found her, tortured, burned. Her body was discarded in an oil drum outside Milan. Her daughter, Denise, would later testify against her own father in the same court. Lea's voice may have been silenced, but her courage echoed louder than any gunshot. Two, Rita Atria and Piera Aiello, the girl and the parliamentarian. Rita Atria was just 17 when she stood before Judge Paolo Borsellino, hands shaking but voice steady. Her father and brother had been killed by the Mafia, but she wanted justice, not revenge. Her testimony helped prosecutors lock away major Cosa Nostra bosses. But when Borsellino himself was murdered in 1992, Rita lost her protector, and 1 week later, she took her own life. But her story didn't end there. Her sister-in-law, Piera Aiello, took the baton. She too became an informant, then disappeared into witness protection, only to emerge years later as a member of the Italian parliament. 3. Giuseppe Giusy Vitale, the Mafia boss who spoke out. When her brothers, the Vitale bosses of Sicily, were arrested, Giusy Vitale didn't collapse. She took control. She ran operations, moved money, gained respect. However, she was eventually arrested as well. And in a moment that rocked the Cosa Nostra, she flipped. She became a Pentita, a Mafia insider turned state witness. She testified not out of fear, but to free her children from the life she once obeyed. Giusy shattered the illusion that Omerta was forever. 4. Eunice Roberta Carter, the prosecutor who outwitted Lucky Luciano. In 1935, when America's crime families seemed untouchable, one black woman, Eunice Carter, broke the game wide open. While men chased blood trails, she followed money trails, tracing Luciano's prostitution empire through legal loopholes. Thanks to her strategy, Luciano was convicted, making Carter the first woman and first African-American to take down a Mafia kingpin. And yet, history barely remembers her name. 5. Today's silent warriors, women still fighting the Mafia. Not all heroes hold microphones or testify in court. Some hold pens, gavels, and press passes. Rosaria Capacchione, a journalist in Naples, lives under 24-hour protection for exposing the Camorra's political ties. Judge Maria Francesca Mariano receives death threats in the form of goat heads. Prosecutor Carmen Ruggiero survived a prison assassination attempt. And activist Rosanna Picocco converts seized Mafia property into schools and shelters. They fight not with violence, but with truth, and the Mafia fears them. Here's what the Mafia doesn't want you to know. Women may only represent 2.5% of all Mafia-related convictions, but they control nearly a third of Mafia finances, inheriting or managing rackets when male bosses are jailed. Since the 1990s, over 150 female informants have been murdered, often by family or former partners. Their choice to speak isn't just courageous, it's deadly. Why these stories matter: these women pierced a silence held together by generations of fear. Their testimonies led to major clan busts, the conviction of top mafia bosses, and the seizure of illicit wealth worth millions. They are more than informants. They are mothers, daughters, journalists, judges, symbols of resistance in a system built on obedience. Lea's story became a national TV drama. The Good Mothers. Rita's diary is studied in schools, and Piera Aiello rewrote the law she once hid from. There's one truth the mafia underestimated. It's this: the most dangerous enemy isn't the police. It's a woman with nothing left to lose, and everything still left to fight for. Share this video if you believe in courage over silence. Comment below, which of these women's stories moved you the most? And remember, sometimes, the bravest gangsters aren't gangsters at all.